Welcome to ECLM Learning Simplified. My name is Ruth, and today we are going to be learning from 2 mathematics. Our topic for today is statistics, and we're going to be looking how to represent data in a pie chart or on a pie chart. So we'll see how we use pie charts and how we convert that information you've been given to a pie chart. So we'll start with a simple pie chart. So a pie chart is divided into various sectors. Each sector usually represents a certain quantity of item being considered. Considered the size of the sector is proportional to the quantity being measured. So you notice if you get the percentages of different quantities, they should all add up to 360. Since our pie chart is having a total of 360 degrees. So we need to have all our when we present our quantities in percent, they should all add up to 360. So we can take our values allow in turn, then we calculate their percentages in regards to 360, and then we can use a protractor uh, and the compass to identify them in a circle. You notice the circle that are represented here has already been divided into small parts, and these are 24 parts. And if you look at 360 divided by 24, you get that one small part is 15 degrees Celsius. 15 degrees, not Celsius. So this helps us to make the work easier. But in the case where you have been given to calculate it in your work, like in your exercise book, you just divide, make sure you draw a line from the center to the circumference of the circle, and let that be your beginning in terms of measuring the angles, and it goes on, and then you come back to that beginning line. But in this case, you're using the circle that has already been divided because this is a representation. So use the protractor and the compass to get the specific values, starting from a starting point. But how do we do that? So in the case, for example, of the example that we have been given below, we have been told to consider the export of US to the following countries. We have Canada, Mexico, Japan, France. Use the information to represent in their pie chart. So we need to get the percentage of the export in Canada, Mexico, Japan, and France, but now in form of degrees. And then we use those degrees to present that in this circle or in a pie. So we're going to get the total exports. That is going to be $13,390 plus $8,136 plus $5,824 plus $2,110, and you're going to get a total of $29,460. So for us to get the specific now percentage or decrease, you're not getting the percentages and degrees. So we are going to take the specific. Let's say Canada has 13,390 over the total, which is 29,460, then times 360 degrees. So that you can get the specific degrees. So it's going to be 13,390 divided by 29,460, then times 360. So it's going to be 163.63 degrees. And then we do the same case, 88,136 divided by the total, which is 29,460 times 360. So 8,136 divided by 29,460 will give us 0.2761. If you multiply this by 360, you'll get 99.42 degrees. So we do the same case also to Japan, which is 5,824 divided by 29,460 times 360. So we are going to get, if you take 5,824, you divide by 29,460, you are going to get 0.1976. You multiply this by 360, you get 71.17 degrees. And finally, for France, is 2,110 divided by the total, which is $29,460 times 360. If you do the division, 2,110 divided by 29,460 will give you 0.07162. If you multiply this by 360, it's going to give you an approximate 25.78 degrees. If you add all these degrees, they should add up to 360. So after that, now you represent. Remember we said you get a starting point, you draw a line from the center of the circle. So the first thing is 163.63. So you place your compass here. If you place your protractor, I mean here this line, and then you measure where 163 degrees is, and then you indicate using a pencil, and then you draw a line to the center, and then you shade it. But in this case, we know that every small section in our circle represents 15 degrees. So we have 163.63 divided by 15, so that you can see how many circles you will need. You need 10, approximately 10 or 11 sections. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and a small section on the 9th. So this is just an approximately the way it's supposed to look like. So we are going to shade all this. This is going to represent Canada. So you can use different shading to represent different countries. And then the next one is Mexico. So if you look at our case, we have 99.42 divided by 15. We are going to get at least 6 sections. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a small section. So it's going to add up to here, and the remaining section that we had from the previous one. So this is going to be it. So let's use circles, these circles, curves to represent. So this is going to be Mexico. And then we have Japan, which was 71.17. So if you divide this by 15 degrees, you have 4.7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a smaller unit. So this is going to represent, we can draw like this. Just shade according to how it is or how you would want it. So this is going to be Japan. And finally, the rest is going to be now France. So let's look at one more example. Consider the total population of animals in a farm given as 1,800 out of this, 1,200 are chicken, 200 are cows, 300 are goats, and 100 are ducks. So we do have the total. We can calculate the percent, the degrees representing each specific animal. So if you were to look at chickens, they are going to be 1,200 divided by 1,800, then times 360, which is going to be 1,200 divided by 1,800 will give us 0.66666, then times 360, which will give us 240 degrees. And then cows will 200 over the original, which is 1800 times 360. So 200 divided by 1800 gives us 0.1111. If you multiply this by 360, you get 40 degrees. And then goats, the goats are 300 over 1800, then times 360. So if we do 300 divided by 1800 times 360, it gives us 60 And finally 100 ducks. So the ducks, it's 100 ducks over 1800 times 360. So 100, if you divide by 1800, you get 0.05555 times 360, which gives us 20. So if we add up all these degrees, they should total to 360. So let's represent this in this pie chart. So 240 divided by 15, you need 16 sections. Remember we said you start by a starting point. This is going to be our starting point. We need 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We need 15 because if you divide 14 divided by 15 degrees, because one small section represents 15 degrees, you need 16 of them. So this is going to be our chart. All this is going to represent 240 degrees. So this represents the chicken. And then for the cows, it's going to be 40 divided by 15, which will give us, we can start with the goats, which is 60 divided by 15 is 4. So the we have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is going to be 8. So this represents 60 degrees. So this is going to be goats. And then ducks, we will have 1 because it's 15, 1.5. So we split this into 2. Make sure you use your compass and protractor, it's going to help you. So this is 20 degrees, so this is going to represent the ducks. And the rest is going to represent 40 degrees, which represent the cows. You can shade accordingly, but that's how it's going to look like at the end. So you are not always going to be given a circle that is subdivided, as I've said. Make sure you use a compass and protractor to identify the different angles. Just place it from a starting point and then continue shading until it's done. So that's how you use a pie chart or represent data in a pie chart. So check out more revision questions and notes in the app. They are going to help you to understand and solve what you have just discussed. So see you in the next lesson.